There are a lot of operators in Arknights. Excluding altars, there are a total of 303 as of here at People Sows. I was wondering though, how many of these characters actually work aboard the Landship of Rhodes Island? Today we will be covering every character that is not working aboard the ship to arrive at a total number. So first off, we will not be including crossover characters as they exist on a separate timeline. We will also count altars as the same character, so we will cover them as of their most recent iteration. Along with that, Scotty Alter will not be included as she exists on a separate timeline. And then if operators are just visiting Rhodes, they will not be counted as working. So with that out of the way, let's get to it. So for the 1-stars, they all work at Rhodes. A lot of the robots do various tasks, and U-Official actually does help with consulting when Rhodes Island interfaces with media organizations. And of course, the Terror Research Commission does not count, since they are from that crossover. Then for the 2-stars, this one's easy, they all work at Rhodes. Now for the 3-stars, Beagle is of course possibly missing in action, who knows. Vanilla is an interesting case, just because she works at Blacksteel Worldwide of course, but she's on an exchange program with Rhodes, so she actually does work there. 4-stars is where we get interesting. Courier is the first in the list to not work at Rhodes Island anymore, or at least he's not there primarily. He's assisting Silver Ash in Yarrag. Then Gitano, this is a weird one. So as you can see here, she's actually in the Sammy ice field in IS-4. It's possible that she's on a mission, but it would be kind of weird just because if you're playing as Magellan, she doesn't recognize Gitano. So since IS-4 takes place in 1099, we're going to go with the idea that she onboards after the events of IS-4. Now that could mean that she's just working at the Sammy branch of Rhodes. However, just for the sake of simplicity, we'll count her as working. Matterhorn is in a similar situation to Courier. Peerstream actually left to go back to her hometown, so she's still employed by Rhodes but likely is stationed elsewhere. Finally, Totter is living in the forests outside of Victoria. It's actually mentioned that he's barely ever on board the ship. Now into the thick of it, with the 5-stars. Starting off with Almond, she of course works at Blacksteel, but is actually also on the exchange program, so she is staying on the Landship working with the engineering department. Then Baseline works as an intermediary between Rhodes Island and Lysanian, so he's actually stationed in Zwillingstem. Then Bison previously worked at Rhodes Island of course, but now runs Mountain Dash Logistics. Black Knight is a Rhodes Island rep in Yan, so not on the Landship. Blitz is non-canon. Spent is a non-resident engineering consultant. Ceylon is a doctor at the Siesta branch, not on board the Landship. Coldshot works with Jessica on the Colombian frontier. Coraceum works at Rhodes Island under an agreement with Raytheon, so he's likely on the Landship. Croissant works at Penguin Logistics and works out of their office. So this is different from the Blacksteel exchange, since Penguin Logistics is involved in the Lungman part of the story, but does not actually stay at Rhodes Island past that point. They don't actually work there. Sherney works at the Afterglow office. Delphine works at the Victorian branch office. Franco works for Blacksteel primarily. As far as Wakes of Vulture goes, she seems to be there now, and occasionally at Rhodes Island for treatment. Frost is non-canon. Greenbuds is actually just visiting Rhodes Island. Hibiscus runs the Afterglow branch of Rhodes and Lysanian, so she's no longer working at Rhodes Island. Insider is still an executor for the Notarial Hall, he just sometimes assists with ops, so he's not actually stationed at Rhodes. Jayun is a field op for the Yan branch. Kazamaru is stationed in Victoria. Kestrel is employed at the Sargonian branch. Yara is with Enya in Yarrag. Lapland is fighting Zaro in the wastes outside of Syracusa. Lazy only visits Rhodes Island sporadically. Bliskarm is the same deal as Franca. Lunacub serves as a guide in Syracusa, so she's not on the ship. Morgan works part-time for Rhodes at the Victoria branch. So Mulberry does assist with the medical department. She studies Aripathy with Rhodes. However, with a death in Shunfen, she mentions only the disaster relief org, nothing of Rhodes Island. So I'm saying that it's likely that she does not stay aboard the Landship and primarily helps out elsewhere in Yan. Nine-Colored Deer is non-canon. Prominix is in Yarrag, serving as the Saintist once again. Quirkus is stationed in Victoria. Rock is at the Londinium branch. Santala, according to her operator record, is stationed in Sami, not on the ship. Snowsant is working with Swire in Lungman. Sora works at Penguin Logistics. Spuria came with Insider to Rhodes and is just visiting the engineering department. Tachanka is non-canon. Vendella is with Rock in the Londinium branch. Waifu says in Where Vernal Winds Will Never Blow that she has her job at the agency, school, and kung fu to focus on, nothing about Rhodes. So she must have stopped studying there. Whispering is an as-needed member of the medical department and is only with Rhodes for the short term. However, we don't know how short a term this is, so we will still have to count her. Finally, Windchimes works part-time as a messenger for Rhodes. Though she receives treatment from Rhodes, she travels around Yan to allow villagers to communicate with each other, so she can't really stay aboard the ship. So she likely gets treatment at a clinic in Yan. For the integrated strategies 5 stars, Tulip is the only one that works at Iberia and not on the Landship. Now for the 6 stars. So Ash is non-canon, Carnelian carries out missions within Lysanian exclusively, Chung Yue goes to the Landship to visit Neon and Dusk, Dagonbreaker serves as Silver Ash's bodyguard in Yarrag, Executor works for the Notarial Hall, still on contract with Rhodes Island but not on the Landship. Exusier works at Penguin Logistics, Genosis works with Silver Ash, Horn serves as the commander for the Tempest Platoon's 2nd Division in Londinium. Jessica left to make a life for herself on the frontier and come with catastrophes or wakes of vultures. She now works at a branch office of Rhodes Island in the Colombian frontier. Lee does not stay on the ship and instead provides info to Rhodes as well as operator recommendations. Lynn assists Rhodes with infected treatment in Lungman. Lumen works in Iberia. Magellan is stationed in Sami according to info from Tifon's file. Moinar is assisting with affairs in Kazimierz. Nerl is also assisting in Kazimierz. Chubai provides support in Yan. Reed is currently leading a group focused on giving aid to Terrans. Shu is just visiting Rhodes to see her siblings, and the other siblings do actually work at Rhodes, including Ling. Silver Ash runs Carlin Commercial in Yarrag. Stainless assists in Victoria. Swire is running the LGD in Lungwan. Texas is at Penguin Logistics. Tifon is cooperating in Sami. Finally, Vigil is in line to become the mayor of Nuova Volsini after the events that took place in Il Sirticasano. So, totaling that up, we have 235 operators that actually work on the Landship of Rhodes Island. Now, hopefully that was enjoyable to watch. It was fun to do my research and learn where all these operators are actually stationed at. Kind of interesting. I don't really have much time for an outro, so build your birds. Goodbye.